Welcome to today's webinar, courtesy of the Kentucky Small Business Development Center right here in Louisville. We're all about hooking you up with free, super secret business coaching and training services. It doesn't matter if you're just dipping your toes in or gearing up for a big expansion. We've got the goods, the tools, and the know-how to help you win. To get the scoop, cruise on over to LouisvilleSmallBusiness.com or hit us up at 502-977-5800. Big thanks for tuning in to today's webinar. Feel free to drop your questions or chat it up with our speaker using the chat feature. Let's dive in.
Hi, welcome friends. Welcome to another Toolkit Tuesday. I'm Dave Etkin, I'm the director here of the Louisville Small Business Development Center. And glad you're here today. We got a lot to talk about. Thanks for joining us. And as always, just to make sure that you can hear and see as well, just look at the bottom of the screen. You should see a toolbar down there. If you don't, take your cursor and hover over that. It should pop right up there. You'll see the chat feature. If you wouldn't mind, just tell us you can hear us well. Give me your name and where you're joining from. It's always great to see where everybody joins from. This is my favorite part of everything. Hermelin from Frankfurt. Great to see you. Erica. Hi, Erica. Erica's here with us in Louisville. Lara, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Melissa, New Albany. Whitney, Christopher, Union, Kentucky. April, hey, April. April's here with the SBDC as well. She's in Covington. Anya in Rhineyville. Betty in Louisville. We got a lot of people. Elizabeth Mayfield. People coming from everywhere. Jacob in Columbia. Man. Shannon, Dallas, Texas. You win a new car today for being the furthest away. Awesome. I don't know how you found us, but thanks for joining us. I really appreciate you joining today. So, well, thanks everybody for joining. I'm here joined with my coworker and great friend, Janet Flaw, who drafts the ship for us and does everything for us. So how are you today, Janet?
I'm great. Good Tuesday, everybody.
Yeah. We have a fantastic guest today. One of our fellow SBDC coaches and our training director is JC Phelps, and he is an expert in his own right. He is a proven expert because he does this every day. He has a successful food influence business, and he really knows his stuff. So, JC, I'm really happy to learn a lot from you because I do every time that we're together. You're just a bunch of information and knowledge, and I really appreciate you sharing with everybody. So, we got a lot to talk about today, and I think this is a subject that not a lot of people really talk about, is the Meta Business Suite. And let's just get started. Let's just dive right on in.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dave. Good to see you all. I love seeing where you're from. Shannon, again, kudos to you. Last night in a training, I had someone from Tennessee, but you win in Dallas. So
you definitely win.
Yes, you win. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead, Dave and Janet, share my screen. I have a few slides to share with you all. We'll just start a conversation, but then we're going to go over into Meta Business Suite, and we'll actually get started, and I'll show you how to navigate it and the different tools, okay?
Let me jump in real quick, JC, and just if you have any questions or comments for JC, just put it in the chat there. That's what it's for, and let's make this a great go back and forth. This is your opportunity to ask your questions to a real expert. So take advantage of that.
Absolutely. I love the questions. So here are my slides. We will go. We started, you have the intro video from the Louisville SBDC, and I always say, it's so amazing. But no matter where you are, I want to encourage you to know that the SBDC is a statewide program. We do cover all 120 counties here in Kentucky, and every state and U.S. territory has an SBDC. So I saw some Eastern Kentucky people. I'm from Southeast Kentucky. On the call, no matter where you are, we do have an SBDC that serves you. So if you need help connecting with those people, please let us know, and we're more than happy to. As Dave said, I'm JC Phelps. I work out of our state office as the training coordinator, which I love doing, coordinating the training and education innovation wing here at the SBDC. I have my email address here on the screen if you want to take a screen grab of this, or take a photo of your phone. That's just fine. I will also send these slides to you, Janet, so you can send out. Again, these slides aren't very dense, but it will have my contact information on there. If you ever need anything, I'm always just one email away. I love hearing from you all, so please feel free to always reach out if you need. But we are here today to talk about one of my favorite things and things that I use every single day, and that is Meta Business Suite. There are things that you may do on Meta Business Suite that I don't, right? And I want you to say that in the chat if that's the case. And hopefully I can show you around the platform today in a way that will help it be more usable for you. That's the goal. And so just to make sure that we're all on the same page, what is it? What is this Meta Business Suite? Meta Business Suite can be used on mobile or desktop. I'll tell you, I usually use it from my desktop. Of course, I'm always on my iPhone, but I do like the Business Suite more from my laptop. That is just my personal preference. But you can use it on either. And Meta is the parent company that owns both Facebook and Instagram. And so what this Business Suite does is that it connects these accounts to help us run both in a streamlined fashion. It helps us manage your Facebook account, your Instagram account, Messenger, which is, of course, a part of Facebook. It puts all of this in a centralized space, and that's so convenient. It's very efficient to manage these. Also buried into this is what's called the Ad Center, and the management of ads. If you do paid advertising on Facebook or Instagram, very easy to do here through the Business Suite. Again, I'll show you around the suite later on in the demonstration, but if you have questions about ads or boosting posts or anything like that on these platforms, it doesn't even have to be about the suite itself. I'm happy to answer any platform specific questions too. One thing else I like, and I'm going to show you, I am a numbers person. I'm a marketing person that's numbers driven. We do exist, yeah. And marketing can be quite mathematical if you do it the right way. But all of that to say, I love how easy it is to track performance of posts in the Meta Business Suite. So we're going to talk about some analytics as well, okay? Moving on though, one thing I want to point out, I hear this pretty often. There is the Meta Business Suite, and then there is the Meta, or what some people say, Facebook Business Manager. These things are highly related, but just to differentiate a little bit for you, Business Suite is the suite, right? It says it in the name. It's a little bit more wide arching, and it is made for the community management of these platforms, the scheduling, the publishing, the replying, the true management. While the Business Manager has other complex features that's built into the suite. So ad creation, you can do forms of billing if you take Facebook Pay, things like that, tracking, asset management. There are lots of things you can do in here. And so I think of Business Manager as specialized features within the suite. But if you happen to look up something online and you see the two names, I didn't want you to be confused if you go back and you reference things, because sometimes they're used interchangeably and that confuses people, although there are some differences, okay? But Meta Business Suite has so many benefits. It has many, many advantages. And before we even get into this, I'll even give the spiel. When I was a business coach here at the SBDC, prior to being in state office and was working in the field, I worked a lot with their marketing clients. And I feel your all's pain. I am multi-employed, including being self-employed, and I know it is really hard to balance all the things that you're doing at one time. I don't know if you feel this way. This is how I still personally feel. I feel if I'm excelling at a few of the things that I need to do, that one falls below the wayside. And of course, for an efficiency and for a maximization mindset, that's not a good thing. marketing is never the thing that falls for me because it's the crutch of what I do. But for many of our small business clients and maybe yourself, if there is one thing that drops, it is often the marketing. I hear time and time again that, there's just not time to do it, or, it's hard to make, the 20 minutes out of your day, and you forget and you're going to get into a habit, then you get out of a habit. Meta Business Suite, in my opinion, solves that issue. Yes, of course, it still requires the labor. However, Meta Business Suite is an efficiency hack. Many people create their content on Facebook and Instagram, maybe if you're using a third platform, TikTok, but Facebook and Instagram tend to be, quite large for small businesses. And the capabilities here to streamline your operations in the future, if you're planning, or either live in moment, in my opinion, are unmatched. Like anything before, you may have poked around, but you may not have used it too much. My advice is for you to give it a try. But just like anything, if you're trying to watch what you're eating, or you're trying to wake up earlier, whatever it may be, it takes a while to form a habit. And that's certainly true in the marketing space. And so even as you are beginning to use this, I promise there are benefits to doing so. But before you make your decision to see how efficient it can make your life, or how much it will help you in your marketing efforts, give it a few weeks, help it form a habit. And then I think you'll be able to fully reap what you can out of it. But some general benefits, again, centralized social media management. You're not going to this site and that site and clicking here and clicking there. It's all going to be very consolidated and streamlined. I love that. I am on every social platform. I make the majority of my income on social media. And so I'm very much always in the inbox, always clicking here and clicking there. And so if I can streamline what I'm doing, I can then spend my time in other ways that help me generate revenue. And I know that that's the case for you all too. Many people use a third-party tool. You may use a tool like Sprout Social. You may use, many things. But if you're going to integrate your accounts, your Facebook and Instagram accounts, it is usually required that you have the business suite set up and that operating. It will connect through there. You can see an authorizations buried down in the suite. And so that is just a benefit. It's going to be something you're going to see every now and then, even if you don't use it regularly for integration. Insights again, right? How are your ads doing? We've got to know that. How are people responding to your content? What kind of people are interacting with your pages? All of these things are important, okay? They help us understand. Again, I am a math person, and I'm not going to just pressure you all to think about numbers all the time, because I know people have different love of numbers than I at times. But if you are trying to market your business and you're not getting into the data, you're not doing it correctly, okay? And my advice to you, a lot of people don't know where to start on these platforms, so they don't really know what's going to click. You have to have good data to be able to analyze data. And so I would encourage you to post different days of the week. I would encourage you to post different types of content over the course of weeks. That way you can have a baseline and you can compare group A and group B. Group the posts that you did in the morning versus their posts that you did in the evening. Group the posts that have people in them versus posts that are product driven. Which ones perform the best? And what performs best for me may not perform best for you, and that's just fine. But when we look at our insights, we can garner that and then create our strategy. You should always do what's sticky, right? And what's sticky for you is unique to you. Post-scheduling content planning, we're going to talk about that. A very, very handy tool within Meta Business Suite. The notifications are prioritized, and I'll show you that when we get into the platform. Really nice and clean how you can go around and edit and see and interact. Inbox management, again, that's part of notifications, but these are not the only notifications that you get. But one of my favorite features, and I will tell you, I'm going to go ahead and admit this. I know you all are probably interested in marketing. You're here on the call today. One thing I would tell you is that if you're listening to someone, that's teaching about marketing and they claim to make no errors or they claim, to be perfect, I would maybe stop listening, right? Because we all have things that we're not as good at. Myself, inbox management is not good for me. And I'll tell you a little bit about what I do on social media because it is, I'm sure, quite different than what you do, and you'll understand. But I write a food blog, work with many entities, food brands, create recipes. You're Googling a recipe, you go to it on Google. You're oftentimes going to a site like mine, and it is my primary income across all social platforms, not just Facebook and Instagram, but between the two, or between all of them, I have about 100,000 followers and several 100,000 on the website. Between Facebook and Instagram, upwards of about 60,000 between the two. So I get a lot of messages. And I am one person. I am a team of one that does a lot of things. And so I'm not saying this is recommended, but as we look in my suite, you may see messages that I did not respond to. Sometimes the messages are lovely, and sometimes they're like, how much salt do I need to put in when it says to taste, right? I can't answer that to everyone. In your small business, generally speaking, of course, managing that inbox, having open communication, these are always best practices. And I do try to respond to as many as I can. But my inboxes have been at 99 plus, what it says on social for probably a decade. I just can never get through it all. So I wanted to give that caveat because you're going to actually see my back end here, not to the side, but you're going to see my actual Meta Business Suite. I'm not going to be showing you all screenshots. I thought that would be more helpful for you to see an actual page, okay, that we can click on and be interactive. So certainly some benefits there that I wanted to point out. Some key features. Again, some of these things are repeated, but I wanted to separate this out in case you're looking back at the presentation. These things I've all talked about thus far in the presentation with emphasis on that unified dashboard. I love the content library. I love being able to look back at my content in a really easy way. I think that's important. But something I wanted to point out here and why I spit out this section differently from the first one is I wanted to talk about these last three. Within Meta Business Suite, on your business Facebook page and PS and Instagram, I should probably say that to start off with. To be able to use Meta Business Suite, your accounts must be set up as business pages because these are for the business side of both platforms. Personal pages are not applicable here. I should have said that in the beginning. I apologize. But there are ways to collaborate with teams. Janet and Dave, we work together here at the SBDC. What if I wanted to add them to my food page? Okay. Within the Meta Business Suite, I can very easily manage and chat with those that I add. I can choose what things they can do and what they can't do. And that is always very handy to do. So I know maybe you are the owner of the business, but you have a social media manager, or maybe there's someone on your staff that helps. You can add someone to the account in a limited fashion, and that's that's important to do because you need to maintain, as the owner, access to the page. I will just say, in my time in working with clients, of course, we work with confidentiality, so I will be vague here, but I have had many clients speak about experiences in which they weren't in control of their social pages and they had a manager or an employee and they lose access, right? If something happens to that relationship on an HR, standpoint, that is a nightmare, right? If you've been developing a social media presence, you've been investing your time and certainly your money into this thing. So always good to just add on, but you maintain contain the keys to the business suite. I feel that very passionately. Automated responses. I personally don't do this. It may be a solution. There's always ways to grow talking about my inbox management, but the messages I receive are so varied. You can set this up very easily, saying, maybe you have normal business hours in which you're monitoring your inbox to make sure you stay on top of it. Maybe you can set up, frequently asked questions, that can be up to you. Some people are team automated responses, and they certainly serve a place for efficiency. And some people, like more that human interaction. And I understand that. Within the Meta Business Suite, you also can set up events and manage the events that are hosted by your business. Facebook events are obviously a very large part of the marketing on the platform. Maybe you're running a sale. Maybe you're having a trunk show. Maybe you're having a pop-up at your restaurant, whatever it may be. Maybe it's a charity event. A great way to push your brand to new people, have it connected to your business page as opposed to an individual's page. That way your business can grow alongside the event, and you can continue to post and engage with those that are there. But again, this unified dashboard, having it nice and clean and easy to use, is going to be very, very important. And so I'm actually going to hop out of this screen, and I'm going to share my screen into a new one. And we are actually going to look. Now, we are inching into lunchtime. I hope you all are eating right now, because again, I work in food. So we're going to be looking at food when we get here on the site. Let me get out of my presentation there. Excuse me. My PowerPoint was showing again. And here we are. We are in my business suite. Okay. This is the business suite to JCP Eats, which is the name of my blog and website and all my social. And so you can see here, I'm using the web version. I'm here in my Google Chrome browser. What you're looking at here is my cover photo on Facebook. It looks like a piece of my fried chicken. Maybe you're hungry, but all of that to say, I want to point out a few things. This is what you see on the home screen. My Facebook and my Instagram accounts are connected, right? That's one of the main goals of doing this. And I may anticipate a question here. I have had this question in the past. I hear it from many people. Sometimes people struggle connecting their Instagram page. I love you, Meta. Thank you for what you do for my business, but I'm going to gripe here just for a moment. The connection can be difficult. I struggled with my own even back in the day. I had to click and re-click over and over and over again. Sometimes these things don't want to mesh. You think they would. It's the same parent company and it should be easy. My advice to you is to keep trying it. I get this message from clients pretty often. They're trying to do it. It will connect. Sometimes it may just take a day or two to do it. You may get it first try, and that's wonderful. But a lot of people, if you've never set it up, do struggle with that. As you can see here, I have both my my Facebook page here on the left, which I can go to, and that is my Instagram page that is right there. You can see very easy links. If I wanted to actually go to the page, right, I could click and go over to Instagram right now, the Food Blogging Business Professor, right? Or I can stay here within the suite. It's easy to edit your page instead of trying to find where you need to go in and edit. All of that's linked right here. And again, the hyperlink out. I like watching my follower count. You can see the actual numbers here. It looks like it just crossed 3.3 likes, 19.9K followers. There's usually a discrepancy there. Facebook pages have likes and followers, but they're usually relatively close. You can see mine are there off by 600. And then your Instagram followers will round up, but I do tend to keep a watch on that, liking to see hopefully that number increase over time. Now, here we are going to actually create some posts. We're going to look at some things, but I want to point out a new feature that's pretty neat. You can, of course, create a post right here, and we'll go into that next. You can create an ad and go straight into the ad center, which is very, very handy. You can see here, you can create an ad using something that you've already done, such as boosting your content. or you can do an automated ad. Then there are other ads that you can do, such as getting website visitors, if that's your goal, right? They try to separate it out because they want you to succeed. They want you to continue to spend money with them, right? We'll talk about ads a little bit later on, but I always daily I run a page like ad, and that's a promote, what they now call a promote your page, but the term for years has been page like with them. This is newer, right? Creating a reel. Reels are the short form videos, right? You can upload the media straight into, so this is a video file, kind of TikTok style video, but you would post on Instagram or Facebook Reels. You're now able to do this within the business suite, and that is very, very nice. I like that feature a lot. And then you can also create your stories, okay? One thing that I want to point out that you may have seen when I was on the real screen is this. Here's the efficiency's sake. People say, I don't have time to post, or I don't have time to make sure I do this in my daily process. Here we go, right? You might decide that you want to post something only to one platform. It's as easy as clicking one button, and now it's only going to Facebook. But I can post it to Facebook and Instagram, okay? With one click, it's going to go to both. Very handy. If you have Facebook groups, you can see here a Facebook group of mine that you want to send it to. Maybe your business has a group and you utilize that one click. It's already there. Very handy. So you can absolutely do that. You can add, again, video. You can do photos, add your text. But look at this. I love this. This was not in the business suite for a long time. It's one of the things that I love most. I'm all for efficiency's sake, but one thing I used to say all the time was, I didn't like cross-posting because sometimes I talk differently to my Facebook audience than I do my Instagram audience. Okay. This solves that issue. You can press customize the post, and I can have a different caption on Facebook, right? This is my Facebook caption. Then on Instagram, this is my Instagram caption. And as you can see, it live updates a preview. It may lag a little bit, but it does preview right here. I'm going to go ahead and add a photo just so we can see. This is from today's blog post, something I will be posting today for sure, but looks like actually it downloaded as a web page. Let me just, this is a post I did yesterday. So I did post this on my feeds yesterday, you'll see. Let's say I wanted to post this photo of broccoli cheese potatoes, okay? Here, I already have a warning that my photo is going to be cropped because it's too long. It's taken on a professional camera. Very easy to do, right? Very easy. You can do it in one click. It solves that issue for you. Again, there's my Facebook caption I said. If I'm looking here, I'm seeing the preview of the post. And then I can also see what it looks like on Instagram. Isn't that handy? But again, it says the customized caption. One reason I often want to customize on Facebook versus Instagram is that on Facebook, you can do clickable links. So say I always put the link to the actual recipe because I want people to go to the site, right? That would be my business goal. I make money when you come here on the site, you click the recipe that you want to go to, and then you're going to see these ads pop up that I know everyone just loves, but you are supporting a creative like me. And this is where I get a lot of my income. So that's my goal. On Facebook, I can put that URL and I can hyperlink it out and it will link. I really do like that. But here's the thing. Maybe you don't want to do this every day. I struggle to make myself want to post every day. You don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to. You can schedule. And you can schedule either the same time on both platforms, or you can differentiate. Isn't that nice, right? Maybe I want this on Facebook on the 2nd and Instagram on the 3rd for whatever reason. I can also press active times here. So I'm not sure if you're seeing that pop up. I hope you are. It popped up in a different window on my screen. But when you press active times, it tells you when your following is most active on the platform for that day of the week, and you can schedule it for that active time. Talk about being strategic. You're going to get more engagement. And so maybe this is not something you want to do every day. Do all your posts for a month in a day. Do it once a week. Do it every 2 weeks. Do it every 3 days. I don't really care. Whatever works for you. But this is very, very handy to do it all in one place. The customization of Facebook Business Suite, since we're talking about food, I'll give it a chef's kiss. They really have optimized that. I didn't like how it used to just cross post between the two. And when that happened, I became fully sold on the Business Suite. One thing I want to say, there are integrations that will connect to Business Suite, and Facebook or Meta as a whole has partner programs that they're just fine with using. But Facebook and Instagram, Meta, they want you to use their program. And so some post schedulers, there is some data that says maybe it doesn't do as well if you schedule it through an external party than it does through the native entity like this. And that's because, again, these companies want you to spend time on their platform because it's how they make money. They don't want you spending your money elsewhere. And so there is a reason to use, the native software if it works for you. But as you just saw, with even all the customization features, very simple, very, very user-friendly. I'm a huge fan. So let's go back to home. I'm going to discard those changes because I actually have already done that. Let's work down the home page though, right? They set what they call a to-do list. Yikes, I don't want to see that because there's always something, but there are some tasks. I personally don't do this. This may be something that you need to do, but it will set a weekly goal. You can see the plan, you can edit the plan. That's a nice visual for some. Here is again that really streamlined notifications, prioritized notifications I was telling you about. Last night, I will confess, I spent several hours in my inbox knowing I was going to be seeing you all today as I was watching the WNBA. So you're seeing multiple week old posts, and that's because I cleaned it up a little. So I did do that. I can see my most recent comments, and guess what? Look right here. It says which platform I got it on, right? Someone said yummy on this post. That's great, right? Some of the potato here. Someone said looks delicious. How many comments of each? I can click out, automatically go. Scrolling down. You can invite your friends. You can do that to your page. You can do that with one click here, really streamlined. As people interact with your posts, you absolutely should invite them. Here it says 99 plus. I'm going to click this, and then you can click the boxes like this and send the invites, and it will send them a direct notification to invite them to like your page. A great way to grow the follower count, right? Manage your marketing content. Here's content, I post relatively similar photos. The recipes, I only posted this on Facebook. I didn't like how it looked on my feed, but I usually post the recipe every day on Facebook and Instagram. I can very easily look at my newest content. I can boost it if I decided I wanted to put some money behind it. I can see some insights about it at one click here. There are other ways to do this, but again, this is just on the home screen, right? And you can see all posts. You can go and it will show you a different feed, okay? Working our way down here, it then has ads, right? What did I do on Instagram, right? I ran an ad for a post I was doing with a partner, but I always run a page like ad here. As you can see here, I personally love this. Mine is very specified. I could get a much lower cost per like, I'm very confident, but I very cater and niche down who I want on my page, who I want to pay to get on there. And so I do run ads. You can see that's the photo I use in the ad right here to get people. It says like, welcome to my Kentucky kitchen, right? And the more you specify, the smaller the audience is going to be. However, with the last $378 that I've spent on this ad, of which I think I'm currently spending $7 a day, there have been 2,400 followers. I feel very confident that these are quality followers for me. That's what I care about, because I want people that are going to be on the page and actually click out, because that's how I'm going to make money. Okay. And then, of course, there are a few tips down here. I go through this. Looks like a simple screen. You could spend hours working just here off the main page. How easy is that? So streamlined and beautiful there. Notifications, let's work down our left side. I love this. I look at it pretty often, right? You can they claim they have ones that they call high priority. Those are usually comments, right? Comments are rated as a higher priority than likes. And you can see more. Again, I'm seeing from multiple platforms here, but I can go into, business or ads if there was anything there, or profiles. And here I'm seeing the different notifications per platform. So a really easy way, instead of opening, multiple different screens, I can see, okay, are people commenting on this? What's happening? The inbox. I did work on it, right? I did work on it, right? But you can manage your inbox very easily here. I won't go through all of those, but very easy to see the inbox. You can do lead center. I personally don't work in leads very often with what I do, but you may do leads. The lead center, if you build that right here, going to be built for you. The content feature, I want to point this out, very important, very easy to use. You can very easily see how something did in terms of the amount of reach that it had, how many likes it may have had, what was successful, right? I don't boost my content, and I will say statistically, content reach of static content has gone down. Reels tend to do better. I post static, but I mostly get my traffic. I get a pretty good amount of traffic from Facebook each day. I have a few old posts that stay viral, which is great. Pinterest and search engine, those are the things that give me traffic. But like, I'm looking at this is an anomaly. That's looking pretty good to me. I would say, what was it about that post that got more interactions, right? It got 190 interactions. Was it the photo I used? All my photos are professionally done. But I'll tell you, here's what analytics will tell you. I look at this and I say, okay, that posted pretty well. Let's look at it. Okay, so here is what I could take. Pineapple casserole, right? Kind of a weird Southern recipe. I told you all y'all are going to be hungry. You may not be hungry if I told you this is a casserole with pineapple and cheese. Maybe you've had it, maybe you've had it. You can tell me in the chat. But why do I think this did well? I think it's because of the copy I use. The text we use is important. Have y'all ever had pineapple casserole? It's easily one of the most controversial Southern recipes. Why is it controversial? One, it's pineapple and cheese and butter, and it's a little strange. Well, then people wanted to tell me that they make their mom's recipe and they made it up for the holidays and things like that. Because I said it was controversial, right? That was a talking point. I asked a question. Have you ever heard of this? People were very proud to tell me, yes, I have heard of it. If they have heard of it, or if they've made it, my goal is that they're going to think, how does this guy make his? One click, you go to the website, and already, as you can see, we're loading up. I just made money off of that click. This is my business. And so, I get paid per 1,000 views. And I have an ad here, an ad here, ad here, right? It really does add up. And as you watch here, for me, right, you may be selling hard goods. Olay is advertising on the site right now. That Olay ad is going to run, and it may be Olay again, but Olay just paid me. Then you know, it will run, potentially it looks like it's loading up for a new one. It will change to something new. Look, you know, the lottery's there. It just depends. I love that though. I love analyzing what's been happening in my posts. So that's in the content tab, the planner. This is very, very handy. If you are scheduling your post, just like we were talking about, it's going to show up here. Guess what? I'm going to wrap myself out. I don't schedule my posts. I truly enjoy making my post every single day. I do. I enjoy it. And so I do it live in the moment. Is that efficient? I'm sitting here talking about it. Maybe not, but it keeps me engaged. It keeps me in the inbox sometimes, things like that. But as you post, like these posts are live, you can see I posted on Facebook. And apparently I went over into Instagram and I posted it right after. What I would tell you is this: don't be like me. It took me 3 minutes to apparently go between. I could have done that in one click, right? But I personally like to do it. Let's see here. Here's a chat. Have a few questions. Do you also use affiliate links within products, your blogs and socials? I will use affiliate links sometimes, which earns me some income, but my main income is through my ad agency. I don't do a lot of affiliate, but that is a very lucrative way to make money on social media. Emphasis with some of the shopping features in the apps now. That's never been my model. I work more in sponsored posts and just from the ad agency. But absolutely. And if I were doing that, you best believe I'd be monitoring those clicks from these social platforms and making sure I'm posting where I'm getting the most clicks, aka the most money. So yes, that's a great question. But you know, in the past, absolutely, some companies want you to do that, but I prefer to just be paid a flat rate if you just you know, if you want to know. The ads here, I love the ad summary. I look at this pretty often. You can see it looks like in the past 60 days, this is very low spend for me. It's summer. I'm currently writing my dissertation, if you want to know the truth, which is about influencer marketing. So I'm working on my PhD. I've been a little busier and not, you know, working as much. Luckily, after doing this for over a decade, my website kind of runs like a well-oiled machine. But I typically, I'll just be honest with you. I'm showing you all my numbers. I'm being very forthright here. I usually spend about, you know, 1 to 2,000 a month in advertising. As you can see, in the last 60 days, I've only spent 347. That's very, very low for me. But you can see here what those ads did. It looks like there were concentrations, there were peaks. But you know, you may want to look at things like what's actually working for me. Where am I getting the followers? You can click the see more and get more information. It is very easy to get overwhelmed by this. So it's not something I expect that you're going to get into your business suite and you're just going to be able to get all the answers in day one. But what you should do is to create a habit to familiarize with yourself, to see what it is that you're doing, right? Where are these people that you're talking to? Who are they interacting with? How are they interacting with you? In what ways are they interacting with you? And you're going to form these habits that will help you understand and use this with your eyes closed at sometimes, right? Insights, let's dismiss. So as you can see here, let's see. Looks like daily performance here, impressions, 160K there. That's fine, right? That's good. But as you can see, I'm down. Okay. Why am I down? I'll tell you why. I haven't posted yet today, right? I usually post of an evening, but a great way to go through the results of your content, your plan, your audience, right? Get in the numbers. This is great motivation to say, okay, you know, get to posting, right? What are you going to do? But I will tell you, as simple as this seems, one, I hope you realize how much there truly is here. Of course, I could go in and dive in numbers with you. If we went to the website, we could spend 10 hours together and we still wouldn't get through it all. But what's magical about this is the streamline. As simple as this sounds, I love the homepage. It makes my life so easy. So many of the things that I want to do, I can do right here. And then, of course, as we worked down, there are many tools. I do see a couple chats. Let me get into the questions and see what you have. Let's see. I have do you have an online class on how to set up the business online, a step-by-step I can refer back to? So I've never taught that class actually, but I do have instructions on how to set up and connect your accounts. And so if you would like to email me, I am very happy to email those instructions to you. Would be more than happy to. So I'm going to put my email in the chat in here again. You may have already written it down, jc.phelps@uky.edu. And I have that in a document. Very happy to forward it. Yeah. And if you have any, questions while doing it, let me know. Of course, that's an important setup. Let's see here. How would you change business assets to another portfolio within the same account via Meta Business Suite? So I may have to ask you to clarify on that question just a little bit what you mean. So change to another portfolio. Describe that. Give me an example or build that out just a little bit so I can make sure I answer that question fully. Okay. And I'm actually going to stop sharing, so we'll be back here on the screen bigger. But if I need to get back in the suite, I will. But questions are coming in, so I'm going to start answering. Let's see here. You said you post static content every day, but it's attached to a more involved blog post on your website. Have you tried posting multiple forms of content today? Say posting a photo, then a story reel. I've gotten different feedback. Absolutely. So my advice here is to do as I say, not as I do. I think multiple forms of content is good. The real content is probably going to perform best for you. I've been a blogger for like 15 years, so I am old school in some ways, and I love static content. I can't stop loving it. And so I will always post it. That said, I think being multidimensional in your posts is going to be better. It's going to give you more content variety. What then you can do, this would be my advice. You're saying you're getting different feedback. Again, what is best with me versus you may be different, and what works for me may not work for someone else. But I have a website that gets 7-digit views a month, and so it's all different. And on social, I don't get as many social interactions as some people do. I'm less relevant on social media than I am the search engines. All of that to say, by posting the story, the reel, the static content, I encourage you to do that and to do it for a while, because you're going to build up your data set there. You're going to build up your analytics, and you're going to be able to analyze and see, hey, which one actually converted for me? Which one got me the most link clicks or the most interactions? And that could be static content for you. It may not be, right? But if it is, post static. That's what I say. But if it is reels, you can then, turn to do what is most successful. That's, I think, the biggest advantage of doing multiple types of posts, is to see what's sticky right now. And the emphasis is on right now. You may change down the road, okay? Because sometimes their pages become static, a different use of the word static there, but mine certainly does. And you may want to freshen it up and to do something different. And that's a great reason to maybe flip the type of content you're doing, just to give your audience something that they're not expecting. Yeah. And you can get new data to pull from. So that would be my feedback there. I hope that helped. Let's see here. What resources can I share for help on the back end admin settings we're having for Meta Business Suite specifically? So if you have a specific question, I may be able to, point you to it now, but I have bad news for you all. I really do have bad news. I've sung the praises of Meta today. I'm a big fan, you all know. Meta support is no good. I'm not gonna lie. It is not any count. It's really hard to get a hold of someone. And so I don't personally mess with asset management much to talk about your second question there. But that's not something I heavily involve in the business suite. But in terms of resources, there are multiple, wonderful blogs, but many help forums. I tend to turn to help forums before I turn to them if I'm ever looking for an answer. If I can ever be of assistance, for you, if you have a specific, feel free to email me, and I'm more than happy to do that if I have the answer. Unfortunately, I don't have all of them, but I sure try to get them if I don't. That offer is on the table for you too. I'm always happy to help. Um, these are great questions. I think we're all commiserating. We all, deal with issues within Meta Business Suite. I most certainly do as well. A question here, what is static content? I love that question. Static content, that's a type of content differentiation, static versus dynamic. Static content is a photo. It's something that doesn't move. So that's just me using marketing jargon. I apologize about that. And so I appreciate the clarification, truly. Dynamic content is content that does move. And so that is a video. So if you're posting a reel, for example, that would be dynamic. And if you're posting a photo to your feed, that would be still content or static content. I, again, am very heavy on the on static myself. I do see a question here in the Q&A as well. Let me see what this says. Does Facebook penalize you for sending visitors to an external site? Are there best practices? I love, love, love this question. You're going to see many mixed reviews. And you all may not like this answer, but I feel like it's my job to be honest with you. And so this is the honest answer. There is no clear directive on that. You're going to see things that say Facebook penalizes you for sending people out, okay, to another site. For example, I link to blog posts every single day, right? I want you to go to the blog. That's where I cut my checks. Facebook very well, may not like that. As I said about their own scheduling platform, that's a point I made. They like to keep you within the platform, but that's not how I make money. So, do they penalize you? I think maybe to an extent they want you to keep you on the platform, but they know business pages link out, right? If you're selling a sweater and you own a boutique, you're going to link out to your website. So I can't fathom a logical, deduction there that the penalty would be so grand. Number two is that, is there an optimal way to do it? There is. And it's what looks, and it is it's individual to your page. Some people get more interactions if they put the post link in the comments. So I could say like recipe link in comments, and you would go down to the comments and you would click out. Some people like me put it in the description. I put it in the description because I think that's more user friendly. Okay. So just like I said, you need to flip-flop. My data showed me that I got more clicks when it was in the actual content description, or it was in the caption. I'm going to try in the month of maybe even mid-July, but in August, I'm going to switch to comments again for a couple of months, and I'm going to see where the data currently is. Never get secure in your data because data always changes. You just have to make sure you're not, biasing the parameters for it to do so. So my advice to you is, if you've never done one consistently, to do both. Maybe do a month and a month, or a few weeks and a few weeks, and you'll see what's working for your page. Pages are more individualistic than we give them credit for. Let's see here. I'm loving these questions. You all are making me so happy. And I hope you're getting some value out of this. Let's see here. You are, let's see. The first question, you share for help. What's the number one piece of data I look at? Post interactions, views, etc., which seem low. Then I'll be at events and we'll come up and comment on our latest post. Okay, yeah. So again, a little individualistic for me and for you. I want people to click out, right? So I look at how many link clicks that I receive, which is a post interaction. I want to know how many people went from Facebook to the site. I know, or Instagram to the site. That's a very small piece of my puzzle. I'll tell you, my yearly 8-digit traffic between, usually 92% of that traffic is organic search engine. So, I'm not getting it from social. But that also means that, if you say 10%, 8% of say, 10, 12 million views, that's still a really good piece that I'm getting from social. And so I look at that. What I look at is in terms of ranking, I typically look at how many impressions I got versus how many likes, right? I want that that ratio to be as good as possible. I want people to interact. But I also very much value comments and shares. A comment is greater than a like, and a share is greater than a comment. And so I tend to look at it in that way, because those are kind of the ranking of how much someone has to be invested in your posts to do one of those interactions. So I look at it all. I look at link clicks, I look at impressions, and then likes, comments, shares. But I kind of look at the ratios between the two, and I ask myself, what was it about this post that got that interaction? And that self-reflection is where you really get strategic. Let's see, these are awesome. Let's see. I monetize on Facebook. Can't figure out how they're deciding how much I'm being paid. One post may make 3 and 15. I was wondering, how do you get consistent money per post? Great question. Okay. They should, there probably is a baseline. I've been in Facebook Pay initiatives when they first launched it several years ago, actually, the business page. I used to be paid a per post rate. Those were the good old days, yeah. But unfortunately, consistent money per post is, I hate to say this, it's not going to happen. I can have a blog post make $700 in ad revenue in one day. The next day it'll make 35. The next day it'll make 130. It will always teeter. How you can get the most consistent earnings, though, is to make posts like the posts that are earning you the most. You need to make that diverse content, figure out what's working, if you're making commission, if you're getting views, if you're getting more interactions, and make more of those. Unfortunately, it comes down to content customization. And I do act differently across my platforms. I know what works for me on Pinterest. I know a certain type of pin I post can get tens of thousands of views in a week, which means they're going to come over to the site, right? But there are pins that I love creating that I think are gorgeous that are not going to get clicks. And so how do you get consistent money? You make the most engaging posts. If you're early on in your earnings journey, though, if you're making money on social platforms, that may not be relevant to everyone on the call. It's one of those things that it's difficult to gauge in the beginning, but you're going to find what's sticky with you. And those posts that don't make much money one day, they can pick back up later. That's the other thing that's important. Sometimes I'll have a post die and then boom, it'll go big again and it'll get hundreds of shares. So don't also count something out until it's fully out. Let's see. Why can't I share feed content from other pages I follow on Facebook via Meta Business Suite? If I was to open Facebook naturally, yes. Okay. That's a question I get pretty often, and that may have been, tied to your question earlier that I was asking clarification. I can't recall the exact question. The Business Suite is the Business Suite is built to be insular to your own. And so a lot of people do like to share content from other pages onto a page. There are reasons for that. Maybe it's bringing views, right? I personally choose to only post my own content. But the Business Suite exists only within the orbit of your business assets. Unlike, if you go to business.facebook.com and just use it that way, you can follow pages from your business page and you can do it manually, absolutely. But from the Meta Business Suite, unfortunately, that's not the case. I've always wondered that myself, but they have always kept it insular to the accounts, and that's why. So only your native content, meaning the content that is native to you that you have created, is able to be used. Let's see here. Hope that helped. Thank you for answering. You're so welcome. I'm very happy to. I appreciate you all. You say do not boost posts. I do not. I do boost posts. I haven't been currently. I actually prefer boosting posts over ads. Again, this is my own personal experience, but I like running boosted posts over existing content, as opposed to creating ads that just pop up in the feeds. The only ad I do in that nature is the page like ad that I run daily. But I'm actually am a fan of boosting posts. I just kind of go through periods where I do more or less. I'll tell you why I do less in the summer if you want to know the back end, knowing when and where you make money. Ad rates are lower right now. My ad rate just went down by about $40, which is very significant if you think about it as a multiplier. Between the end of June, which is the end of Q2 when budgets are being spent for year end, and the beginning of Q3. In July, this is one of my worst money months a year. And so I'm not going to spend money sending people to the site because I'm going to make less money per 1,000 views. And so in the winter, for example, Q4, I'll probably boost to the extent of $5,000 to $8,000 a month at least, because I want more people to get on the blog and I want to make more and more money. So there are benefits to boosting the posts. One benefit of boosting versus an ad is that, again, that's content that's already on the page. Ads disappear if you boost a post that you've already created that's native to the page, and you boost and you get 200 or 300 reactions. Those reactions stay. So now when people go to your page, they're going to see those interactions, right? It also gives you a place to interact with those potential new followers on a post that stays. Ads do disappear once they stop running. That's really my favorite part of boosting. I like that social proof. I also like to be able to go back and quickly reference. Last question I see here in the chat is, have I ever used A/B testing? I have for when I used to do client work in the past on here at the SBDC. A/B testing is something that you absolutely can use from Meta Business Suite. I personally don't use it within my own social presence, but it is a great way to test as to how it works. I tend to just involve myself in the data, but A/B testing is something I am more involved in terms of email marketing, just to be honest. But a lot of people do really enjoy that ability, and that is involved in your Meta Business Suite if you would like to take on an A/B test. Yeah. Dave, Jana, I've just talked a mile a minute getting through the
You
question.
did.
Please excuse me.
You threw a ton at everybody, so I appreciate that. It occurred to me, and I had a conversation with somebody that that does what you do a kind of a lot, and I was asking about, when you're just kind of getting started, it's easy, to kind of learn the back end nuts and bolts and trying to figure that out. But a lot of people early on have almost have stage fright when you start posting. And his advice was like in the beginning, nobody cares, so just keep doing it until you find what your niche is. Is that what you did? Is that kind of how you got
Very
started?
much. If I look back at some of my old posts now, I would just die of embarrassment, right? And I'll just tell you all, I've been online in a long time for a long, long time, and it's been my career for a long time, but they were for years at time I didn't show my face. I'm not against showing my face. I'm not shy, but I was a teenager when I started. That's one thing I should say. I was underage. But all of that to say, it takes a while to build up the confidence. I used to feel that way before I started working in TV. I was a little afraid there in the beginning. I think that advice is perfect. It goes back to that habit forming. You get more comfortable with it. I can do anything online now. It doesn't bother me. But in the beginning too, that's the best time to get used to it because the fewest amount of people are on the page.
Right.
So there were blog posts back in the day that no longer exist that are archived that, I probably had a grammatical error or I could have done something silly, but maybe 5 people were reading now. If I publish a new blog post out today, the email list that's subscribed on, WordPress is 700,000 people. And so it's going to be a grave error if I do it now, but I'm comfortable and I know how to do it. And so definitely my advice, do it now, get used to it, and you're going to get so much better. people truly, I don't think they care as much as we give them credit.
Yeah.
Usually in social media or marketing or putting you and your business self out, enemy number one is yourself.
Yes.
I really do believe that.
Yep. Yep. I do have another question is, being
Sure.
someone that really prides himself on knowing and testing new and weird recipes, I'm blown away by pineapple casserole. So I wonder if you could maybe just do a brief description of what it tastes like and, texture. Give us a
I
recipe review there.
you all, this is context for those of you all that are still on, that you all may not have, but Dave really does like unique recipes. We've seen that here at the
Yes.
SVDC. I'm going to briefly, just as a quick funny here to enjoy, I'll share my screen. Here is the beauty of pineapple casserole. Behold. Pineapple casserole it's less runny than you would think. It is soft, but it has a buttery texture. But the thing that's unique, look at the ingredients, you all. This became popular, PS, I think in the 70s in Southern Living. 40 ounces of pineapple chunks, flour to thicken that juice, any juice that you may have, the butter, so it's more casserole-like, sugar, 1 cup of shredded cheese, 1.5 sleeves of Ritz crackers, and 3/4 stick of butter melted. So I will tell you, it is extremely unique. It's a really rich topping with those buttery crackers, but there's something that happens, and I will confess under oath here, I am a pineapple on a pizza kind of guy. But it doesn't sound like it works. It does work. I've eaten it my entire life with ham. It's absolutely amazing. And Dave, if you want a pineapple casserole, I know where you are. I'll bring you one.
All right,
Nice.
I'm in.
Janet, I'll bring you one too.
I'm good. I'm good. No. It's the cheese part that just kind of,
That's the weird part. That's that
Yeah.
controversial, part of
Yeah.
the post copy there. That's my favorite pizza, pineapple pizza and jalapenos. Laura, you and I are on the same
oh
page.
my.
You're talking my language. That's my very favorite.
JC, this has been so much fun, and you are such a generous share of information, and I know everybody appreciates it as much as I do. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you all. And I thank you all for having me. I think I'll be back in a few weeks. I owe a description
Well,
to Janet will be marketing. Janet, I'll get that to you. I'll also send you this presentation. I know it's a little bit lighter, but just in case you want to look at it, I'll send it.
Absolutely.
But you all have my email if you need anything. I mean that, just give me a holler, okay?
yeah,
Okay.
he does. And we'll send this recording out to you too, so you can watch it multiple times. So this is a great resource. Keep it in your pocket. So.
Yeah.
I would pineapple casserole for all of you.
Janet, thanks as always for
Thank-
everything you do. And thanks everybody for joining us today. And we'll see you next week on another Toolkit Tuesday. Have a good Tuesday afternoon, everyone.
Thank you all.